The thing I was going to mention is how it turned from a rock to a balloon.
Well, I just didn't want to like speculate, you know.
Yeah. As what we were doing, trying to get, trying to do our wall. Y'all know we post that and do a lot of walking. Walk, 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 walk.
Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow. We saw some people playing and enjoying themselves, some young people, and I was, I can't have ways. Angela's, and Angela's like, I think we might want to go this way, Chris, because they got rocks. I'm like, all right, no problem, going that way. And it was just playing. It wasn't like it was a coup or something going on over there. It's just kids having fun, and maybe some parents or something.
Grown up
And
kids.
then as we was coming back, turning around, we circled around the park, the lake area, and it came back. You was like, yeah, it could have been balloons. Like that is a big difference.
Yeah, because I would think, as I sit there and think about it, I'm like, okay, if it were rocks, somebody would have been complaining. They would have been crying because rocks hurt. So they was all laughing and, having fun. So I'm like, could have been something else.
And I was okay with not finding out because I know, like I told her when we was walking, I said, they could have been like, oh, we got hit by a rock. Oh, sorry, but and you knew it would have been by mistake, and it would have. But to avoid it even being a mistake, because you can't reverse the pain or the embarrassment or any of that misunderstanding, let's just put them in a situation where we're never going to be hit by the rock slash balloon.
Right. Because I didn't want to get hit by anything, period. Don't throw nothing at me
Yeah,
and don't let it hit me.
right.
All
And
right.
that's the first thing she told me on our first date. No, just but and I was like,
Yeah.
all square. I'm not known for that. I won't do that. So we were good. I knew we was on a right track and everything. But and it's bad for your health. Just letting stuff fly and hit you in the head. You don't want that to happen.
Of course it is.
But speaking of that, we were talking about our last episode, meats and stuff. But I was wondering after we finished that behind the scenes, I was like, does that have anything to do with our obesity thing?
Oh, I think so. I think and it is, and it depends on what kind of meat you're talking about or how it's prepared.
Yeah.
But I do think that does
Like we
equate
know
to.
here in this country, we struggle with that. That's a struggle that's we're known.
Yeah.
America has, obesity issues. And so it's got me to thinking, and we'll talk about it in a little bit. We'll go over the top five, some of the top five and top 10 and all that of what countries really consume a lot of
Hmm.
meats. And we know what some of the top meats are. We know it's chicken and stuff, but who eats a lot of that? Because there's some places where they're way more, herbal or
Yeah.
yeah, help. The eating is
Well,
different.
some places they can't get certain kind of meats because they are on islands or they're not close.
Or they eat seafood, like Iceland. I would
Right. It's
imagine a
easy,
place like
yeah,
Iceland
because
eat
they're
more
surrounded by
seafood.
this. Yeah, they're surrounded by the sea, so that's where their main, source is. There, it's the sea.
But we
Stuff is
live
in
in
the
a
sea.
country where even if somebody is closer to, let's say, a lake or a river, you stuff can move around this country so quick and so fast. And because of the mass production of it, is still considered as not as expensive from
Hmm.
the terms of the people that live here. But that's not always accessible to everyone. So
That is true, and one of the things that I was thinking about too, some pieces or certain cuts of a meat is very expensive. I did not know that there was a $200 slice of a steak.
huh?
I
Is it
didn't
that
know that.
Wagyu?
I didn't know. I don't know what it's
I know I've
called,
heard
but
this thing Wagyu beef a lot.
there is another beef that's more expensive than that, the cut of a steak. But it just depends on it. But I know that particular steak, cut of steak, is probably not contributing to obesity. We're talking about meats that are like that are, what do you call it, processed. Think about meats. Like in America, we have hot dogs that could be processed. You got fast food that's definitely processed. You don't know what they're putting in these foods, which are processed. Now, when you talk about stuff like that, that's what I think causes obesity. I don't think that a lean cut of a meat causes obesity. I don't think that, I mean, even if I make bacon and have it with something, I don't know, certain bacons are processed, but you can get bacons that are not processed.
Well, let's get into that. What does that mean? when something is processed?
I think something that's processed is taken out of its natural form is either I see I'm biased about cured because some meats are cured with salt, which is another thing. But when there are chemicals added or something is added to enhance the meat in some kind of way that the body does not recognize, that it doesn't know what it is, you turn the meat into something else.
So you could be referring to enhancements. Excuse me. So it can be something that starts the processing thing from whatever the meat is given to
Yeah,
eat.
to preserve it, I guess. To make
Well, let's say when it's
think
even
about
alive. Let's go back. Even
yeah.
when it's alive, would you say that a certain diet that's given to an animal could be start of the process, what it's fed?
Yeah, that could be too. Yeah, because
Yeah.
they're fed a lot of
And that gets
chemicals
into
itself
the
to make.
non and the GMO
Could,
and the
yeah,
non-GMO
you
you're talking about.
yeah you think about hormones that are given to chickens that make them
Yeah.
grow
That's what I'm
quicker,
thinking.
grow faster. Yeah.
And so in this country, we get a lot of that starts at that point because there are a lot of places where that don't happen.
Oh yeah.
Right. Chicken, all that
Yeah,
stuff in other places,
that's
they
true.
just eat chicken. They
Because
don't do nothing to
okay,
process.
think about people that I've heard of that went to other countries and ate there and ate normally, and they come back pounds lighter because the meats or over there in some countries they're not processed. They are very strict as far as what they're more stricter than they are here in America with process. The red. Well, I guess I can mention. I don't know if they put the
Yeah.
color red color dyed or whatever color. We got so many different color of stuff here that's we know that it's banned in other countries. There are a lot of things that are banned in other countries that come from the United States. So yeah, definitely that's what's causing obesity, not somebody going, people raising chickens and they raising their own cows and stuff. You got people that, but I don't know. That's the thing. They still could, you don't know whether they feeding their cow or chickens hormones so they grow. But majority of farmers, if they're selling to a private farmer, they don't. I don't think they put hormones and stuff in their
Yeah, I think they
meats.
try to do an up and up. But I do the biggest thing, and this kind of gets to what you're talking about after that part of it, is the biggest acronym or the initials I hear a lot of as far as chemicals. Because people say chemicals and stuff you add, it can be mineral related or it can be liquid related. But in this case, MSG.
Oh yeah,
MSG is something I can give you the histrionics of how it was found and all that, but that doesn't. It's used a lot here, and that is a big part of the eating processed food because one thing about MSG, it still makes you feel hungry, makes you consume more. It's another added ingredient that can cause your body to go haywire. And you don't always know if it's even in there. It's not like when you go and eat a burger or something, it says, oh, MSG is in here, by the way. You don't know. So that's one. And sometimes it's too much of other things that are actually okay for you, like sodium. It's too much.
right.
Saturated fats.
Yeah,
You got saturated fats, you know. So just like you mentioned the thing, all that could be correlate with good and bad cholesterol. Because all the processed food, saturated fats, that's going to correlate with bad cholesterol. Then you got the omegas, certain things from fish and stuff, good cholesterol.
yeah. If you think about this too, when you talk about MSG, what is MSG? What does that stand for, and what does it
My,
do?
I could tell you, but you tell me. You tell
Yeah, I
me.
have to let me look that up.
I used to know, and I didn't say the MSG a million times. It kind of like the actual name phase, but Angela's gonna.
All right. So,
It's basically minerals.
monosodium glutamate.
Yeah,
It's a flavor enhancer.
chemicals. There you go. And somebody discovered it by mistake, kind of like with the microwave. I think they were trying to do something different with the microwave, and next thing you know, the microwave was discovered, and they started using it for food.
Well, this MSG is found naturally in some foods, including tomatoes and cheese, and
That's why you gotta be careful with tomatoes
but
because
it's natural.
tomatoes make you hungry.
Really?
Man, you start, listen, I guarantee you, if you start going ahead and eat some tomatoes, you're going to be like, man, I want a burger. Like, it's connected to things that can make you hungry. And all of them together are not found together. Like, certain parts of them are found in certain things. Because these are chemicals combined. You know that, right? This is stuff combined to
Yeah.
make MSG. So remember, we are what we eat. So there's a little bit of some mineral, something. We got gold. There's a certain amount of gold in your body. There's a certain amount of zinc in your body. So minerals and vitamins are in your body, whether you like it or not. It's the proportion of it.
Yeah.
Even too much of vitamins, too much vitamin A can be bad for you. Too much vitamin B. So too much of that, which is what we got in our situation, and then how stuff is made, all the nutrients sucked out of bread.
Yeah. It says that MSG is one of the most widely used food additives in commercial foods.
Commercial foods.
It said it increased over time and is found in many different ingredients and processed foods obtainable in every market or grocery store. And it gives a special aroma to processed foods, which is known as umami or something
Umami.
in Japanese. This taste sensation is called savory.
Yeah, right. So that's why I try to stay away from the savory. Now you see why I stay away from the savory stuff. It's trouble, man. You're going to want to, let's see. Anyway, don't get me started. See, I told you. Remember we was talking about that. You was like, I said, nah, that's too savory.
Well, it's good that you could do your own research on MSG, so you can find out exactly what it is, and what's how does the body react to it. Why isn't it not? Why does it, or why do people look down upon it? So yeah, do your research, guys. MSG.
You told me something I didn't know. All right, so listen, we're going to talk about this top 10 countries with the highest meat consumption. This will give us an idea of, does this correlate always with obesity? Again, one of the most obese top countries with obesity, I don't know the statistics. I'll probably mention them on another segment or another episode, is America. We up there with obesity. But here is the top, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10. And we'll start at number 10. And I would have never guessed number 10. If you guess it, I would find it to be a miracle.
Okay.
Top 10 countries with the highest meat consumption. Number 10. And I'll give you a hint. It is a meat.
Number 10 is a meat. Oh, so I got to say a meat and not the country.
Oh, you got to say the country.
Oh, China?
I just told you number 10 was a meat. It's turkey. I tried to give you a hint.
Sorry, guys. That was crazy. I'm like,
no,
I
it
didn't
would
get
have
what
been
he was
funnier.
talking about.
It would have been funny.
is
It was
a
like,
meat.
oh, I know that, man. Everybody knows the famous meat of China. Number 10.
Wah, 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 wah. All right.
I try my
turkey.
best.
All right.
It's turkey. It amounts for 1.71% of the consumption of meat
In the world.
Now this next one, number 9, is I'm trying to figure out, man, because I remember I thought this country had struggled back in the day. It sounded like a poor country. It was a country we had war, we've been a part of war in, and there's a north and south of this country.
Korea?
No.
How you doing that?
People used to call them veterans.
Vietnam?
Vietnam.
I would not have thought that it was a north and south of Vietnam.
There's a north and south Vietnam. I don't know if it still is, but it definitely was at some point. I have to go look at my geography, but yeah.
So which one?
It's Vietnam. So it's obviously not north and south anymore. I guess that's why they had the war. And number
I was going to say Germ. Well, it's not north south.
Well, this is let you know obesity is not going to, because this one I can name, this next country is a big island. It is very healthy country, and you know this one. Number 8.
Japan?
It's Japan. So it can't meat does. This is kind of proving our theory. Like, all high meat consumption doesn't always equate to obesity.
But the question is, what kind of meat? Because just like we said,
right.
At one time, we were talking about people think seafood or poultry.
I would assume it's not sea meat.
Okay.
I would assume
Because Japan is an island to me. It seemed like
is.
they would consume a lot of poultry. No, I'm sorry, a lot of
Seafood
seafood.
they do, but it doesn't. Look, when we looked at the top meats, not one of them was seafood, so I assume they talking about land meat.
Okay, gotcha.
But I might be wrong. That's another thing.
Surf.
Now this
We're not
other
talking
one.
about surf. We're talking about turf.
Remember
Okay.
that.
All right.
All right. The next one, and we visited this country before,
Mexico.
Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Mexico is above Japan, and then you have to pack a lot of knowledge. I don't know how to say this.
So what number are we on now?
So number 10 was Turkey, number 9 was Vietnam, number 8 was Japan, number 7 is Mexico, number 6 is Pakistan.
Pakistan.
And number 5 is in the news a lot.
Russia.
Yeah. Yeah. Number 4 is in South America.
Brazil.
It's, if you had to say it alphabetically, it'd be before Brazil.
Okay, you gonna have to tell me.
Argentina.
Okay.
Yeah, starts with an A.
Yeah.
And then number 4 is
America.
You just said Brazil.
Brazil.
Of course, it's America.
Brazil. Okay.
And then where's number 2?
America.
You want to be America so bad. Actually, you know what? I messed up because the world is number 1. So number 3 would be China. Number 2 would be America, which is number 1.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know,
Wow.
the
Wow.
United States is America. Is number 1.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's
So
that is a
United
good
States
one.
is number 1. China is number 2. Brazil is number 3. Argentina is number 4. Russia is number 5. Pakistan is 6. Mexico is 7. Japan is 8. Vietnam is 9. Turkey is 10.
I was going to ask you to, because now you've done all of them, the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
Now I think I've answered my own question, because China has billions of over billions people over there. Also, one country that we didn't mention that has a lot of folks over there, probably
India.
yes. So India did not make, but from what I think they're mostly vegetarians over there. They eat mostly veggies.
Well, what is sacred there?
That's right. The turf.
Hello.
Okay.
So they probably surfing a lot.
Yeah.
That comes back to Japan. Japan has a lot of cows and a lot of other animals. And I believe that there's so many other. I'm trying to figure out how it is that they wouldn't, they fall on that list. But you got to think about traditions. We talked about this last time. We got to get outside of the thinking of all cultures here in this country.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll find like, wow, okay. So just like you said, where's India? Because India got more people than countries combined. Well, what is the culture? So Japan eats their meats, obviously, for them to be on there. And I don't think it's just the turf. I feel like you said I don't think it's just the surf, it's the turf. But I know for a fact, man, they eat all kind of seafood. Seafood me and you probably wouldn't even think of.
But also too, I'm gonna assume that they're doing a lot of game type of meats too. Like things that are not considered the standard norm. Because I mean, even with the seafood, I've seen like, oh man, because I saw octopus over there and squids and stuff.
Yeah.
So
and sushi.
Yep, sushi.
But I would
which
imagine
I love sushi.
that comes back to the point you just made. It got to be the added stuff. It got to be the saturated fats. It got to be the added side foods like French fries and other things that we consume more so than man because we eat all that. No.
Yeah, and
can't be that.
And think about how it's prepared as well, right? Because I can't think that they would put a lot of preservatives in their food over there.
In the amount.
Because it's not a lot of overweight folks over there.
Right. And it's the amount of, like they may eat a lot of meat, but we eat a lot of meat, a lot, and stuff that come with it and different kinds. Because all meats are not created equal.
Right.
So, yeah, that makes sense. I would have never thought turkey.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Pakistan made it on there too. So what kind of meats you think they have over there? You think it's mostly
Goat, which is one of the
Oh,
top
that's
fives,
right.
remember?
That's right.
And lamb.
Don't tell me they.
It's
If
popular on
they
that side.
tell me,
Australia and Philippines, all those areas like lamb and goats are popular over there.
I
It's
just
popular over here, but nowhere near the level.
I hope that they're not eating the camels over there either.
I would imagine that's in the Middle East somewhere. They tearing them Campbell's up.
I hope not.
And it's not Campbell's chunky soup. It's Camel's. um, but that's just so that actually that makes me feel a little better. I used to sometimes I would get uncomfortable, like, man, if I have my days where I eat a lot of meat, I'm like, am I eating too much? Does this impact how does this impact me?
Well, you gotta think too. Protein is essential,
Right.
you know. But we know that meats have protein, but also there are other sources of protein. But if you gotta think about that, and how the meat is prepared, and I know I mentioned this before, but if we have the meats with pairing it with something that's healthy, it's easier because if you think about it, even the body will take protein and turn it into sugar
Right.
if it
Eventually.
really needs
Very
to.
slowly, yeah. It either
It's
gonna
slowly,
store
but
it
it
or
would do
slowly turn
that.
it into energy, yeah.
But just like you said before, it is whether it's processed or not. You know what is being put in it, what has been given to these animals to make it what you call it, to make a person obese. You know, because think about this too. I was thinking about some of the restaurants that are like, I can say that you have cravings for certain things. You know, when you craving, you know, us, you know, and it's not just the meat either that's at the restaurants. You got to think too is what's paired with the meat. Like I can say I love fries, but I can just tell you there's a difference between the fries that I cook at my house and the fries that I go to McDonald's or a Burger King or Wendy's or any of these fast food places to get. It is different. Each one of them have its own, you know, characteristics that is different in a fry because the fry tastes different. But we all know that if you cut those fries up at your house, each and every time that potato's going to taste the same. It's going to be the same unless you bake it. Yeah. But if you fry it, it's different. But think about some of these restaurants that you cook the food, you know, at home, but you know it's something different about this food.
Right. Fries can also be different, cooked in different oils. What we add to it, like you say, I know I'm adding salt to it, and that's it. But people, commercially anyway, they can add all kind of stuff to make you really enjoy those fries and want some more.
But what's funny is how in the world are they doing this? Because you like when you look, you know, a fry is processed. Let's just say a processed fry. You look at it, you can't tell whether it's processed just by looking at it. Like how in the world are they getting the
And that's
chemicals inside? Or
it's
how,
more of, it's not even about, it's more of making you consume. Like, think about it. Those fries, is more than a potato. You ever cut up a potato?
yeah.
It don't take much to cut up, and the next thing you know, that one potato turned into fries. So if you order a large fry, that's probably two potatoes, maybe two. You know what I'm saying? Maybe
They
two or three.
want you to think it's two potatoes.
Okay, maybe two. But I'm saying
They
I
want
think
you
you're
to think
consuming
it.
more than you should in a setting because they taste so good. So it's almost like you eating two or three potatoes in my mind. Even though
Yeah.
naturally, if you just baked a potato, it would just be one potato.
But
Does
think
that make
about
sense?
it. Things
And it
could
don't
be,
have all those additives.
things can be added to it to make it crunchier. Because when you eating a fry and you crunching it to it, you like, oh yeah, you like that
Especially
crunch.
specific
if
fry.
you
Like when you mentioned the specific fry earlier. Theirs are the best.
But if you think about it, if you crunching into like, how can you crunch into a fry at your house? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Unless when you cutting it up, you gotta cut it extra thin and you gotta fry it a little bit harder. But think about that fry. You know, it's all looks the same.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You crunch into it, you're going to crunch into it
Right.
each and every time.
Right.
So I think things add to it to enhance the flavor, but enhance how that fry tastes in your mouth. If it's crunchy or whatever, if it's
The whole
salty,
experience.
the whole experience, I think.
I got you. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah. That definitely adds to it. And I guess what we try to do is create the experience at home. It's probably healthier.
Yeah. But I'm telling you, you make it at home, it is healthier, but you got to watch what you frying it in too, because you could be adding chemicals to it as well. But that'll be for another podcast. But yeah, I would say that the meats definitely is depending on what you're having. Also, to the chicken, definitely processed. There are a lot of processed chickens around here because they got them growing pretty quick. They're putting hormones in it. Milk as well is part of the meat. It comes from the cow. The cow is
the
processed,
eggs.
and the processed milk processed, and definitely the eggs.
It is a
So,
big difference in taste.
but also you got to read your labels and know what the difference is between something that's processed and something that's organic. So there's a difference. So you can it's going to cost you more, but you can do organic to help, with, to avoid the process where animals that's been given things to make it grow faster or bigger, chunkier.
Yeah, I would say it's okay to ask questions about your food. That's what I got to start doing more. Ask questions. It's okay. Hey, is this, and then some places you go, you already know the answer. You know that certain places, this is commercial, everything's commercialized. So it's going to be a process with processed food. We trying to get this stuff out. And and then some places, let's say some mom and pop places, ask them, hey, your eggs, they fresh? Oh, yeah, we make them fresh.
Yeah.
Some places, oh, no, they're in the carton.
So Chris said that they said we make them fresh.
Some people don't make eggs. Some people cook their eggs out of a carton at certain places. Like you go to some of these mom and pop places, and you'll see they crack eggs.
You know what I thought you meant? Like if somebody wanted to buy some organic eggs from a farmer.
I know you did.
How in the world they make it organic?
That's why I'm glad to say I get to explain. And you
All right,
ask,
you talking about a restaurant.
yeah, like in some places you go, like if
Yeah.
you go on cruise and stuff, and there are places, some stuff on the buffet, it's like that's processed egg. You don't even know it. But then you say, hey, could you make me an omelet? You can see them cracking the egg. That's a fresh egg. That came from So sometimes it's okay to ask to find out if it came from the carton or the egg.
Right.
Hey, listen, you're welcome. It's another spicy take.
Yes, it is.
From
And
the
thanks for joining us here with Christopher and Angela. We are the Spice. Life.